Most people agree that saving money in a bank account is a good thing. Utilizing a detailed budget helps you save. But borrowing money? We've all heard horror stories about someone we know who took out 14 credit cards and ended up flat broke or couldn't ever get a loan. What does it mean to have good or bad credit? And is borrowing money always a bad thing? Welcome to Financially Fit video podcast number 4, where we talk about the fourth step to financial health, credit, with Antonio Olivero from LaGuardia Student Financial Services. If you saw a third video podcast, you may recall Antonio's great advice on saving and budgeting, and I recommend you watch that one first before we venture into the world of credit cards, credit reports, and taking out loans. Hello, Antonio, and welcome back to Financially Fit.
Hi, Marion. On behalf of LaGuardia Community College's Student Financial Services Office, thank you for the invitation.
Antonio, let's start with credit. Some people like to tell us that credit is bad. You were a banker for many years. What's your take on credit?
Credit can be scary for sure, but sometimes credit can help us. For example, buying a home, you may need a mortgage. Buying a car, you may need a car loan. So I like to talk about understanding credit so you can be a financially savvy, prudent, and smart consumer.
So you're saying borrowing and credit don't have to be that scary. They can help you in your life if you know how to use them wisely.
Yes, if used wisely, credit can help you. First, do an assessment of your credit. Order your credit report to see if your credit report is accurate. A good way to order your credit report is at annualcreditreport.com. This website is authorized by the federal government, and there is no charge to order your credit report once a year.
What is a credit report and what's on it?
A credit report is a list of all the credit you have outstanding and how you are paying or handling your credit from month to month.
Okay, so once I order my credit report, what am I looking for?
You want to make sure that all the credit listed on your credit report is yours. Sometimes people may use your credit. This is commonly called identity theft. If you see a credit card or other form of credit that you did not apply for on your credit report, you need to take immediate action to report this to the credit issuer.
Are credit reports sometimes inaccurate?
Yes, this is possible. A bank or financial institution can report you were late on a payment, and in fact, you may have made the payment on time. So yes, this is possible, and you have to be careful about this, and that's why it's a good reason to order your credit report to make sure that your credit report is accurate.
That actually happened to me long ago when I was applying for a loan. A department store I had credit with showed a missed payment on my credit report, but that account had been closed years earlier. We never paid late. I had to call the store and have them correct it, and fortunately they did. But what would have happened if I couldn't get the store to change the inaccurate information?
You can formally dispute the inaccurate credit items on your credit report. On the annualcreditreport.com website, you can dispute inaccurate credit items right online. Once the bank or financial institution receives your dispute, they have 30 to 45 days to address your dispute. One last important point on annualcreditreport.com is that this request of your credit report is a soft credit pull. Soft credit pulls do not impact your credit score or ability to get future credit.
This is helpful to know. I can request my credit report for free and it won't hurt my credit score.
Yes, knowing what is on your credit report is very important. It is like looking at your financial x-ray. There are 3 major credit reporting companies or bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. You may order your credit report from one, two, or all three of the companies at the same time, or you may stagger your request. Some financial advisors say staggering your request during a 12-month period may be a good way to keep an eye on the accuracy and completeness of the information on your reports.
What types of credit are available to us?
There are four types of credit. Revolving credit. The best example is a credit card where you have a credit line of, for example, $1,000. You use $500 in a month, you pay off the $500, and you get to use the $1,000 again. It revolves, and that's what's called revolving credit. Number two is what's called a charge card. An example of a charge card is the traditional American Express card. What makes a charge card different than a typical revolving credit card? Charge cards have to be repaid every month. They have to be paid fully at the end of the month. You cannot have any outstanding balance from month to month. Some people like charge cards because it's a way to have forced discipline. You are required to pay off your charge card at the end of every month. Third is installment credit. Two examples of installment credit are, number one, a car loan. So you get a loan and you have, let's say, 3 or 4 years to pay that off. You have a certain time period to pay off that loan. Another example is a 15 or 30-year mortgage. And the fourth type of credit is what is called service credit. An example of service credit could be a cell phone contract.
Are all four types of credit listed on your credit report?
Yes, all four types of credit may be listed on your credit report.
So credit cards are a type of revolving credit. Can you explain that?
Yes, Marion, credit cards are a form of revolving credit, which means you may carry a balance from month to month with no set end date. As long as you make your monthly minimum payment, generally a small fraction of your outstanding balance, you have some freedom in when you pay back all of the money that you borrowed. A tip here is you should really try to pay your revolving credit or your credit card off completely each month. Why? You won't have interest charges if you do that.
That freedom definitely comes with a price. Interest rates that can be as high as 20 or 25% of anything you don't pay back within the month.
That's correct. And that's why I say you should really try to pay off your balance on your credit cards each month to reduce your credit card interest charges. Also keep in mind that paying your credit cards on time each month and owing as little as possible on your credit cards can help you improve your credit score.
What is a credit score?
A credit score is a calculation based on how you make your payments on your credit each month and how you manage your credit. The higher your credit score, the better. Credit scores range from 0 to 850 generally. Also, the higher your credit score is, the more likely you may receive credit in the future and you will pay a lower interest rate for credit.
What can I do to improve my credit score?
First, pay your bills on time each month. Pay your credit cards in full each month. If you cannot pay them in full, then keep your credit utilization rate below 25%. Keep your hard credit pulls to a minimum. Hard credit pulls are generally when you apply for credit.
Let's talk about credit utilization rates. Once I'm the proud owner of a new credit card, what do I need to know? Could the fact that I use my credit card a lot hurt my credit?
credit utilization rate is the ratio between your total credit lines and how much you have outstanding or used. So, for example, if you have 3 credit cards, each with a credit line of $1,000, and I have used and have outstanding $500 on each of them, I have a 50% credit utilization rate. Try to keep this below 25%, and the best credit utilization rate from month to month is 0.
What is a hard credit pull?
So, yes, a hard credit pull is simply when you apply for credit. Too many hard credit pulls decrease your credit score, so you have to be careful when you apply for credit or you apply too often. And again, remember, with annualcreditreport.com, that is not a hard credit pull. That's what's called a soft credit pull, and it does not impact your credit.
So if I want to establish credit or repair my credit, the best thing I can do is to try to pay my bills on time.
Absolutely. Paying your bills on time is extremely important. Also, you may want to consider a secured or guaranteed credit card. A secured credit card looks like any other credit card, except your credit limit, the amount that you can spend with the card, is determined by the amount of money that you deposit into an account. So let's say you open a account, a guaranteed or secured credit card account with $500. You can then charge up to $500 on that secured credit card, just like any other type of credit card.
So it works like a debit card because you're actually spending your own money.
That's a good way to think about it, Miriam. But what banks are doing with secured credit cards is that they are monitoring your activity. If after maybe 8 months or a year and you're doing things right, that means paying your bills on time or paying off this secured or guaranteed credit card each month, then you may receive offers to convert that secured credit card into a regular credit card. And then you can get back your $500. So it's a way that you can either repair damaged credit or improve your credit. And yes, you are using your own money, but this is a tool where you can use this secured credit card for a period of time so that you improve your credit score and then you can get credit on your own.
Thanks for that information, Antonio. With so many credit card offers available right now, and many of them hitting my mailbox, like this one, can a prudent consumer find the right card for their needs?
Yes. If we are following the right steps, we should be able to find a credit card that meets our needs. One thing I'd like to make our students aware of is credit card annual fees. Some people have credit cards that they do not use very often, and they don't realize they're paying hundreds of dollars in annual fees. Make sure you shop around for the credit card that will meet your individual needs, and if you want to pay an annual fee, because that may be part of the criteria that you look at when choosing a credit card.
What about rewards and cashback programs like free hotel points, airline miles, and all that lovely stuff?
Please be careful with those rewards. They are so enticing, and sometimes consumers fall into a little bit of a trap and they end up getting into trouble by using too much credit or charging up their credit cards, and they get into trouble. Everyone likes rewards, but don't just live for the points or the airline miles. The big trend today are the cashback credit cards. Again, just be careful. They sometimes can get you to spend beyond your means, and that is something you need to be careful about.
What advice do you have for using your credit cards more mindfully?
Remember, credit cards are not free money. It's your money. Use it like a debit card and pay it off each and every month.
Great. Now let's talk about loans. What if there comes a time when someone needs quick cash, especially with all the financial stress folks are facing right now?
Students should make sure they apply for financial aid using the FAFSA financial aid application. FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Students should go to the new FAFSA website, which is studentaid.gov, to apply for their FAFSA. When you apply for financial aid, there are federal and state grants that you do not need to repay. That is where I would start. Applying for financial aid using the FAFSA and trying to get as much grant and scholarship aid possible, because those are types of aid that you do not have to repay.
And what about payday loans? I see these storefronts everywhere in some neighborhoods. For those students who are employed, that seems like a simple thing to do, borrowing a bit of money against your next paycheck, and you don't usually need a credit check or approval from your bank. What could possibly go wrong?
A lot could go wrong, Marion. Payday loans are usually an expensive form of credit. They are what I call a red flag. Be careful and try to avoid them. Try to manage your money well so that you don't need a payday loan. Okay, so that's important. You should be able to avoid payday loans. And an entity that I really trust and value is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and also the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and they both have information, brochures, and websites that speak about how you should be very, very careful with payday loans and try to avoid them.
Where can our students go if they have a cash emergency?
If you are a LaGuardia student who's coming up short on cash, or you have an emergency, reach out to us in the Student Financial Services office here at LaGuardia Community College. We may be able to help with additional financial aid. It's important for our students to know that if they are having difficulty, we have resources to help them.
If you or someone you know at LaGuardia is experiencing financial stress, please reach out. LaGuardia Cares has lots of resources to help. You can email them or call to find out their hours and services, or just pick up the phone and call 718-482-5129.
Marion, LaGuardia Cares does a fantastic job for our students. They help with applying for public benefits, legal services, and individual financial counseling. They also offer a food pantry and many other services. LaGuardia Cares is a great resource for our students.
Antonio, thank you so much for that information. And for all of you out there continuing your financial health quest, I hope you'll check out our other videos in this series. You'll find links down here in the description. Thanks so much for joining us, and stay safe and healthy out there.